Oh, and by the way, we're both stupid. It's misplaced is one word.
That's a higher education we didn't get.
Apparently, I missed that day in pancake class.
Hello, America. It's time to check the nonsense at the door, clear the cobwebs between your ears, and have a rational-ish conversation. This is the lost art of common sense.
That's right, America. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is the lost art of common sense, brought to you by our merch shop, where you can pick up kick-ass shirts like this Common Sense, the left's kryptonite, and
one of our first.
Our first hands off my betweeny beers.
And I'm not just doing this to touch my nipples. I'm doing this to point to what my shirt is.
He's accentuating the logo.
Yeah, this is why
It's right there. Amongst a wide array that you can see on the screen of other designs that we keep coming up with because Kevin just can't stop. He's an animal.
Well, buy our shit.
Buy our shit. This week's episode, we're talking about misplaced accountability. So let's just get right into it, Kevin.
Hold on. I want to say something.
Say something.
In case you all forgot, once we get to 100 subscribers, get to pick a free mug or a free glass of 16-ounce glass and a free shirt to one of our lucky subscribers on Rumble.
That's right.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and share and comment on our shit.
Way to call me out on my lack of professionalism and forgetting that, Kevin. I was just so excited about talking about misplaced accountability.
Well, who doesn't like talking about that?
Well, that's true. So, back to getting into it. Do you think we as a culture have any issues with accountability in general?
Yes. I think, yes. Yes. I mean, just look how every Democrat city is run. Why all these Soros-backed DAs are getting kicked out because they're not prosecuting people that are doing horrific crimes. And these no bail releases are ruining cities. How many times do you have to watch or hear about somebody in New York that had, 14 felonies, rape somebody or kill somebody or, somebody that should have been locked away long ago and has just been released. And weirdly, a lot of those people do not show up to court.
Yeah, that a lot of it started with, I guess, George Soros backed DAs trying to get rid of bail, and I think they try to link, setting a bond or whatever, or a bail amount is being racist or some shit. But yeah, basically, it just taught people that there's no real
accountability. Yeah,
and the crimes ratchet up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what people do. They're like, oh, I got away with this. Can I get away with this? And it goes and goes. And then before you know it, someone's either raped, kidnapped, or
murdered.
Beat to shit or murdered.
Yeah. How many times those people on the subway that have killed somebody or attacked somebody, stabbed somebody? I mean, every time it's somebody's been arrested multiple times. Whatever happened, that dude well, we'll talk about that after your next question.
That's right. Well, that just brings us to the next question, Kevin. Is there any accountability being doled out? I mean, who's getting it? And if so, is it warranted?
White Republicans. Anybody. Yeah. So let's see. Like I was going to say, the dude that choked that guy out and he happened to die on the subway after he was threatening people to kill them. That guy.
That ex-military guy.
Yeah, he was immediately put in jail, and I think he had a bail. He wasn't just released on his own recognizance. So he got it. The dude Rittenhouse, then the big one, Donald Trump. You got all these rapists and murderers running around New York, but you want to get Donald Trump on. What are they getting? Was it federal?
It's basically
tax evasion or something?
Mislabeling funds as a.
Yeah.
They're basically saying he used campaign funds to cover up, which I'm
his
not even
affair.
100% sure. There's been other lawyers talking about that. That's not illegal.
Yeah.
There might be, but like it was as it was marked in the books, it is not illegal.
Yeah, but like a Trump on everything. So, the Georgia, the Mar-a-Lago fucking uh, classified thing. Biden does the same thing when he was vice president. Didn't have the presidential, ability to declassify anything at the time. He just took shit home. They didn't get in trouble. Hillary Clinton didn't get in trouble for basically hitting a hard drive with a hammer, full of shit that people probably
That's not
unsecured
true.
server.
That's false news, Kevin. She broke up her phones with a hammer. She
Oh,
wiped her servers down with bleach,
that's right. Sorry,
like with a rag.
but I mean, let's just be real. If you're a threat to the Democrats, they're going to go after you, and that's who they go after. They don't give a shit if you're a violent offender, especially if you're a violent offender of color. They're definitely going to let you go because what they're doing is play. They think they're placating to demographic, but I'm pretty sure most black people and most Hispanic people also do not want crime happening around them. So they want the police there. And it's just a very racist way to look at things, to think that, minorities don't want the police. I mean, yeah, I'm sure they got, some do have some problems with them, and there's some shitty ass police officers, but there's also great police officers, which is probably the majority of them. I would say probably 95%, 96%. And, they want more of those people around them protecting their neighborhoods as much as anybody else does.
Well, and it seems like there's been a shift in like the political, as far as the prosecutors go in these jacked up areas where it's like they're going out of their way to protect the criminal, and then all the innocent people are the ones that are paying the price for it. I mean, there was another instance, and it's not just like Trump. Like there was that. Did you hear about that? I think it was in New York City because New York City's kind of fucked up right now. Of that convenience store owner, the guy was trying to rob him. I don't know if he had a knife or a gun, but the convenience store owner, I think, stabbed the dude quite a few times, and I think he may have died. But they actually arrested that dude and put him in like prison. They let him out because there was so much backlash on it. But like, really, that's your knee jerk reaction because they make, well, you hear all these dipshits coming out saying, "Oh, shoplifting or looting is reparations or some shit," like trying to, no matter what it is, they're trying to justify the crime. I'm like, "Oh, it's not their fault." I'm like, "No," and like I've said on this show, I get why if you grew up in an area that doesn't offer you a good school system or any opportunity. So, like, really, it's pull yourself up by your bootstraps and figure it out and how not to be a criminal piece of shit or be a criminal piece of shit. I get people got to eat, but you get busted, you get busted. I mean, I'm not saying I don't get like somebody who's,
There's consequences to your actions. There always is,
yeah.
and there has to be.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't, I'm stepping right over the plate of somebody who doesn't seem to have much of a future or many opportunities. So they got to do what they got to do. I mean, I can say, yeah, I get it, but once you're busted, you're busted. I mean, sorry, I'm not. You made the choice ultimately. Um, are we seeing any repercussions from not having repercussions? I mean, because for criminals as far. I mean, just everything.
Is this the next
Criminals,
question? Because you
protesters.
you wrote it weird.
Just because I put that instead of not, Kevin. I went ahead and made a silent correction.
Yeah, of course
and you
there
went
is.
ahead
Look,
and called me out on it.
I was like, because that's why I was looking at. I was like, I don't know what he's trying to say here.
I'm pretty sure you noticed me looking at my screen earlier, being like,
I don't know how I missed that when I told you the wrong spelling for the headline. But
yeah. Mm-hmm.
see, that's the thing I should have. That's the thing I should have just drilled you on. Really
What,
made
the
you
fact that you
feel
were wrong?
stupid. No, this question.
Oh,
Um, yes, obviously there's repercussions for not having repercussions. Look at every Democrat controlled city. Again, look at LA. Look at Portland. Look at, New York. I mean, these cities are all going to shit. There's homeless people. There's drug addicts. There's, you know, these people are just shitting on the street. San Francisco, you got to have an app not to step in shit. I mean, there's repercussions for, not trying to make your city better, not trying to police your city, not trying to clean up your city, not trying to actually help these people or what have you. At least, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened to how is there so many homeless people?
I don't understand that other than drugs have become, from my understanding, I mean, I've never been a junkie, so I really don't know the financial plight of being addicted to an illegal substance, but, or
I'm
controlled
an
substance.
alcoholic.
And we drink cheap beer, so we
Yeah.
just don't have that problem.
No.
Uh, I mean, I think that's one of the things that, and there's a big mental health problem in this country on multiple levels, whether it be the fucked up shit in our food, which we could do an episode on that. We would definitely have to do research on it, which is kind of outside of our box. So to just
Nah, I'm
bullshit
pretty
our
sure I
way
could
through a
BS my way
show.
through anything.
But you're the research guy, so
I'm sure it wouldn't take long to get
the guy who
to skim
knows
through.
stuff,
Yeah.
and the
I can
guy who
just I can
talks out of
just
his ass.
I can just skim through an article quick and pick up on like 4 or 5 points.
Well, I think they have tracked a lot back to vaccine stuff, diet, all these pills they put kids on because kids don't do much anymore. I mean, I'm assuming, I would hope there's still recess, but like, the kid, like, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you were probably just as bad as I was as far as like being the class clown or having
Oh
too
yeah,
much
yeah, yeah.
nervous energy. Luckily, my parents didn't put me on any of those drugs, but
No.
I mean, there's a lot of that stuff that's causing depression and stuff like that, where people lose their jobs, all this stuff. You get on drugs, you lose your job. So, and then now it's like they go to these areas and they're coddling homeless people. It's like, if you want to help a homeless person, you don't allow them to be homeless. You don't allow them to give up. You give them the help they need. You have job programs or whatever. You're not gonna be like, you know what, you sad, sorry sack of shit. I feel so bad for you and bad for myself that I'm so much better than you that I'm gonna let you live in a park in a hepatitis C ridden tent. But we'll go ahead and send you a porta john for 100 homeless people that we clean quarterly.
I mean, it's just, you see these homeless encampments and they're everywhere. They're not just like in downtown areas or under bridges. I mean, they're in affluent like neighborhoods. They're everywhere in these
They're
cities.
in
And
people's front yards,
yeah,
and
and
people
the
would
cops
like get in
won't.
trouble if they
Yeah,
ran them off their property.
yeah, and the cops won't do anything because there's some of these cities got rid of half their police force or half the police force quit because the
They
city
got
wasn't
tired of being
backing
called
them.
murderers.
Yeah. So I mean, these cities are you know just garbage. I mean, that's what they're turning into.
Well, and that kind of leads into my next question on whether or not uh, should something be changed, or I don't know, maybe it doesn't. I'm gonna almost think there's some kind of immunity shit bullshit going on, but should something be changed to hold bad political ideas responsible? As in, because everything you named off is a political ideology that got put into place and
No,
failed horribly.
no, I don't
And
think
now they're
they're
all like, you know what? We made a bad decision. We need more cops. Turns out we were wrong.
no. I because a political person doesn't. Most political offices, not there's bureaucracies, of course, but the people wanted this. These people did not just run on one thing saying, I love the police. Let's go, police. I'm going to fund the police, then turn around and say they're going to defund the police. That's not how that works. These people voted, this city, the population voted to have these people represent them. So, no, if you
But what
you
I'm
get
saying
you
is,
reap what you sow.
but what I'm saying is, let's say, okay, you live there, you didn't vote for it, or you actually live in kind of like one of the most
Recall. I mean, that's
liberal.
about best you can do.
You live in like one of the most liberal counties in the state. But you didn't vote for that shit. And like, let's say someone breaks into your house and burns it down because they did defund the police and like, oh, it's a bad idea. I'm not saying the politician directly, but you should be able to sue the city or the state or whoever did it because that's what I'm saying. It stops people from having social experiments that cost us. That's what I'm saying. If there's not, should there be? Because now, granted, I get it. Way back in the day, uh, very ad lib version of what Thomas Jefferson said, but he basically said what you did, where if you have a bad government, basically look in the mirror because you're the one who did it. Now, granted, we don't. It's not just people being dumb. Like it was brought up, I think Sean Ryan podcast. Uh, it's not that simple per se to where like apparently there was some lady running against Joe Biden and nobody knew it. So it's not really a fair election cycle when they literally black somebody out. So you can't hold it 100% responsible on the voter if there's someone who's going to change something up. Now, granted, if you have somebody like Trump that's just so bombastic and loud, all you can do is try to paint him in a different color. You're not gonna shadow ban him out of existence like they did. I think there were two other people, or at least two people, running against Biden in the primaries, and some girl, and I think some other guy.
Well,
Maybe it
no,
was
I think
RFK,
the guy was. Well, yeah, I think I remember the girl. I thought the guy was RFK, and he just moved out.
I thought there was another one though, but
There
nobody
might have
knows.
been. I
And
don't
that's just
know.
it. And it's not just Democrats; it's Republicans too. Like
Well, the
that.
RNC and the DNC will allow who they want on a ballot. I mean,
But
that's
like, okay, Biden. See, they have a constitutional mandate to protect the people of this country. So anybody, I'd say any family that's suffering because one of their loved ones was murdered by one of these piece of shit illegals, and every single person that came over here illegal to sap off of our system and take jobs away from Americans, money out of their pocket and food off their table, are all pieces of shit.
should they be able to sue the government? Yes.
Yes, I think that should be a thing because, like, it's not like, oh, my bad, just I guess let me out.
But I mean,
You know,
how do you dole that out? Because I mean, whoever sues the government, yes, they get paid, but I mean, the
I think
taxpayer
you would
gets
have to have it
the American
direct.
taxpayers get hurt because
Well,
everyone's
that's what
funding.
sucks.
Because I mean, does everybody who voted for Biden only have to pay, or does everybody like?
You know what? That's a good. If you're a
That would
registered
be a good
Democrat, you
idea.
have to pay for it.
I would think that if that's the way it should be fair. If you should be able to sue the government if they fuck up,
Well,
and
and the fact that we're having this conversation on whether or not we had to have repercussions for horrendously bad political ideas shows that a uh, our population does not pay nearly enough attention to what the hell's going on. There's probably a certain amount of psyop, gaslighting of people going on as far as because apparently they used to manipulate people in commercials and shit. Like subliminal messages was a real thing, and they they got forced to stop because people found out they were doing it. That actually happened. That was a real thing. But it shows like there's a lack of education. Like people like literally don't know what their rights are. They're not brought up thinking that this is the greatest country in the world because you have the opportunity to be whatever you want. They literally are brought up saying, "Hey, I'm an American. I deserve all this shit." I'm like, no, you deserve the opportunity. You have the right to the opportunity. You don't deserve shit. And everybody who takes a dime of any social program, you're the part of like that 1 point some odd inflation rate that was under Trump. That was probably primarily social programs. Because any money that goes from the government to an individual leads into inflation. So you'll never have zero inflation. It's impossible.
no, yeah.
Because there's always people getting that free money. But it's
Well,
just
I mean, some
there
of us
needs to be a
deserve. I mean,
cultural change or something.
yes, I mean that's absolutely true. There does have to be a cultural change because what's going on anymore is just ridiculous. And see, I was going to say, I don't know if you can have like, where do you stop? Like, say you can't sue the government. I mean, where do you stop? Because somebody has a child that goes to war and they die. Could you sue the government because they went to, you know, Afghanistan or let's say Syria or Ukraine or whatever? I mean, where do you stop?
Well, yeah, I mean that one's I mean, you kind
Or
of
do you sign
sign.
that over when you join the
You do,
military?
I think, when you join the military, like you're considered government property.
Yeah, so maybe that would work. There's
Well,
always going to be
the problem is, and guess what I was
every
alluding
policy
to.
can affect somebody, though. What I'm saying.
Well, yeah, negatively. Like if you're a low life, freeloading piece of shit, people like wanting you to work and not collect free government money, that's going to affect you in a negative manner. But in a long way of saying it, something needs to change in our culture and our population because these stupid ass political ideas and all the bullshit that's going on should never have even been able to risen to the top. Those things should have been shot or shouted down as soon as it was brought up. Like this whole uh 6,842 genders and fucking,
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it's
just
just gotten
everything the left
ridiculous.
says. It's like, oh, we need no bail. We need to empty out. Oh, that's not a violent crime or this or that or blah, blah, blah. And like all the shit the left's squawking about, Trump was actually doing. But it's like a lot of these ideas, like, oh, yeah, I remember. And this was way before all
The
this
problem is, the more
transgender.
tolerant you are to a society, the more freedom. And it's bad to say this, but the more freedom you give a society, the worse it gets because these ideas do pop up. These ideas. So if there's no one to say you're fucking stupid,
Well, that's the
and
problem. Like, but not having
but
that
people are
isn't freedom.
placating to it, yeah.
What happened is they set it up pretty smart with cancel culture, stuff like that, to where, yeah, you have the freedom to come up with whatever stupid ass idea you want. Like, hey, this is communist 42.5.0. It's going to work this time. And you know what? You can let that person talk, explain their thoughts, and then rationally tell them how they're fucking stupid and it's never going to work. But you can't do that. The counter argument hasn't been there for I don't know how long. And I remember way back before this transgender, my kid thinks he's a girl or boy back when they're in, younger ages. I remember a video of a dad who put it on the social media and he thought he was this kick ass dad, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, my son wants to be a princess for Halloween. And if my son wants to be a princess, he's going to be a princess. I'm like, well, you're a beta male douchebag dad. It's like no, you want to be a prince because you're not being a princess, and that doesn't make you a bad parent. That's going to help save your kid from emotional distress as they get older from all the fucked up shit that their parents allow the
Well,
kids to just run their
not
imagination
even
wild with.
allow their kids. Half the time it's the parents telling their kids what they should be. It's I want to be that special parent with a special trans kid or non-binary kid or whatever. When people are like, "Oh, my baby's non-binary," like the fuck it is. It's got a penis. It's a male.
Yeah, that's the one, and the other
Yeah,
one's the zero.
yeah.
It's all binary,
It's
Kevin.
all binary. It's either you're non. What did I see? Was that you sent me that or? Like somebody said, like some comedians, like it's either, or did you say that? Maybe you said that it's even non-binaries a binary option. It's either you're non-binary or you are binary, which is both binary options because it's either one or the other.
It
So
sounds very deep and intelligent, so obviously that did not come from me.
it must have been something I saw on TikTok or Reels or
Probably
something.
on your daily upload to the Chi-Coms of all your information. I just think, well, and you can look at it though, because Hollywood people, like in general, have a higher percentage of non-binary and or trans kids than any other demographic in the country
I
because
can
it's a
tell you
social
that probably
status.
white liberal anybody has a higher fucking kid that's either trans or non-binary or fucked up.
Yes. Now, this last question on the main topic, Kevin, kind of pertains to us as well. Okay, because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we talk a lot of shit. Is there a severe lack of personal and physical accountability? As in, how brave would both mass protesters and keyboard warriors be if there was a real chance of getting popped in the mouth for the dumbass shit that they say?
First off, there wouldn't be either. And you wrote keyboard warriors like they're worried. I'm going to keep pointing out your flaws just to let you know. Because you can't hit me in the mouth because you're on the other side of the country.
You're acting like I don't come up there once a year.
But no, yes, no, they would not. They wouldn't be doing any of this shit. If somebody's like, hey,
I hate you.
I just figured I'd point that out during
This is
question.
payback for your gross ass thumbs.
You notice I'm only talking with my left hand. My right hand stays below
I'd be hiding that thing.
Yeah. So all my hand movements with my left hand now because my thumb is very sensitive to you.
And my eyes are very sensitive to it.
I still got a cough. Yes. So back on topic, Dick. No, there wouldn't be any of this shit. Nothing pisses me off more than those people that these pro fucking Hamas terrorist fucking things that are going on in colleges, and everybody's wearing a mask. If you have a cause, then be part of it. Then be the cause. Show your face. Get really in there. Don't be a pussy. Otherwise, you're doing something fucked up, and you don't want any accountability. So I don't remember anybody in the civil rights movement when they were doing their marches or doing sit-ins or whatever they were doing. I don't remember any of the black people wearing masks. They went to jail for their cause. They believed in it so much they would go to jail. They would have their freedom taken away because they believed in equal rights, and they changed something. These people are not changing anything.
Well, they get arrested and let out right away, and the fact that they associate like that, I guarantee you, these people feel like, oh yeah, we're like this generation's Martin Luther King, and this is our march
they're not showing their
against
faces.
discrimination. That's just it. Back then, people showed their faces because they were proud of the cause and wanted, like, when you see somebody with a covered face and glasses, all you see is like a mannequin. There's no humanity to it. It's not like anybody's going to give a fuck about their protest anyway because it's horrible. But, and then like they'll wear a bunch of shit, they'll throw stuff at cops, accost students, and it's like, how tough would these people be if they just started getting laid out and it was legal?
Yeah,
because they say words are violence, Kevin. So if someone violently assaults me with a horrendously ignorant speech, I should be able to assault them back with my fist.
Yes, absolutely, and I think you should be able to.
I mean, back in the day, what was the worst thing you would get? I think I always thought that was so weird. How it was, I could see if you jump somebody, you know what I mean? Like that's assault.
If somebody's screaming in my face,
if someone's talking mad shit, it should be legal to physically finish the argument if it gets to that point, because that's what happens when talking stop. Fists start flying.
Yeah, all you gotta do is you want to fight, and they say yes, you get to hit them because they agreed to it.
Yeah. Now, if they say no and they keep talking shit,
I feel like
that's when you're in a box. It's like, damn it.
You just got to word it differently.
Is your cheek cold? Because I'm notoriously known for having warm hands.
Have you ever been fisted? Yes. All right.
That's going to get you a different kind of charge, Kevin.
No, because I want to fist him right in the face.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
You just got to be like, I'm just saying, like, that's another way to word it.
You have some horrendously bad wordplay. I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, that might hold up in court. I don't know.
Hey, I meant fist to the face. I don't know what he thought I was talking about.
I wonder why he turned away from me. Hi, well,
why are you bending over in front of me?
Okay, you just they don't need the descriptive words, Kevin. Oh my God. Okay, so yeah, I think we both agree that you could
don't let your kids listen to us on Memorial Day. And happy Memorial Day.
Oh yeah, happy Memorial Day. Kevin, get into that. at the end of the show.
Well,
Our little, well, we always do a Memorial Day message anyway, so we'll
yes.
do it at the end of the show where no one will ever hear it. Except for that one guy. We know who you are and we appreciate the shit out of you. That kind of wraps it up, though. But I think it is kind of getting better in some areas, but there are repercussions, I guess, apparently for some of these protesters, which is why they're covering their face, because a lot of these people's names are getting put on lists and they're not going to be able to find work. And they deserve it.
They deserve it.
So, wrapping up the main topic, Kevin, that brings us into winners and losers.
Winners and losers.
In my book, you're a winner, too. I think you're a loser.
But even though I say winners and losers, we always start with losers first on this show because we like to end it on a high note. Kevin, who's your loser?
The reason for I don't know how I'm going to put this, Memorial Day. And it's because there's not enough people that know or love this country the way the people who died protecting our freedoms and our way of life love this country. There's people who hate America that live in America, take full advantage of America, take full advantage of their freedom. And they have no respect for any of these people, what they did. These are the people that hate the military, hate the police, hate any kind of authoritarian. God, I can't say it.
The word you're looking for is authoritarian.
Authoritarian. Yeah. So, but I mean, they're garbage people, and it's like we're wasting America on them. And
well, I think
sucks.
It's because of the men and women that have fallen, who we celebrate and remember on Memorial Day. It has made for very good times. And these very good times have allowed people to forget the sacrifices they made and why people serve the military, and has made very weak people, both constitutionally and, I would say mentally, morally, just trash people.
These alpha male and females are the ones who are protecting all these beta males and weird blue hair ugly women.
Yeah, that's why.
And they're not getting any appreciation for it at all from these people. There's nothing but hate and despise.
Well, the last time we had an uprising like this was in the 60s. And those people treated the military like shit too. Now, granted, yeah, there's probably a bunch of jacked up shit that happened in Vietnam. The soldiers didn't vote to go to war in Vietnam. They went where they were told to go. They had to deal with a lot of fucked up shit. And the last thing they needed was a bunch of hippie fuck ass people. Blame a hippie.
Fucking
get your shirt.
Blame it on a hippie.
Screaming in their faces when they get back.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. They did what they had to do. That was their job. That was what they were told to do. They follow orders. So, yeah, I don't know. People fucking suck.
Yeah, they do. That was a good loser. My loser is Benny Gantz.
Who?
The Israel War Cabinet member who threatened to quit if he doesn't get his way.
What was his way?
I don't know. He just doesn't like how the war's going in Gaza. I don't think he said anything. He just said he wanted a change. He said if Israel and the IDF doesn't make a change in how they're dealing with Gaza, he's going to quit. He's like, you know what? I don't like it, and I don't know if
Did he want to go into Rafah? Fuck everybody, or do you want to pull out?
There's a lot of people for whatever reason that are against basically going in and finishing up Hamas.
Well, Benny Gantz is like I think Benny Gantz is the main Democrat guy, or liberal or whatever of Israel, but he's also on the war cabinet and totally believes in this war and destroying Hamas. So I don't know. Maybe he's just seeing a way how the world is acting towards Bibi Netanyahu, and thinking he might have his chance to get in there.
But I guess because the reason, when you're at war, you need to finish it, and the reason why wars take so long, and the reason why there's so much. Now, granted, there's going to be a lot.
This war should have been over.
Well, the problem is there's going to be a lot of innocent blood spilt in this war because Hamas are a bunch of pussy.
Well, for an urban warfare war,
innocent people. But yeah,
this is like 1-to-1, and that is like the least amount of civilian casualties per enemy force ever in an urban
Well, I'm
style
just saying
war.
though, politics makes wars last longer, cost more,
I
and
know.
create more. I
Like,
would argue create more collateral damage
yeah,
because the
this
longer
war
it
should
goes
have been
out.
over. This war should have been over. Israel had Hamas into the Rafah area, and they should have just gone in, took them out, whatever, and just been done with it.
Yeah, so I mean that's why I
Deal with
picked
the
him as a.
repercussions after. You
That's
know
why,
what you did was right.
yeah. Well, that's why I picked him as a loser because he's causing instability, and you
Yeah,
want
I'm
everything to
thinking
be
this is.
copacetic.
I think this is a dude that just sees he has a chance to get in there and be the man
Yeah. Well, he already seems
because
like a
he's the
loser.
main opposition leader.
Yeah. I don't
But
know.
he's still
I
on the
don't like
war
him.
cabinet, and he has agreed to everything they've done to this point.
Yeah, it's just
So
like, oh,
don't
now it's
act like
getting real unpopular.
yeah. So don't act like he's been a voice of like peace. He hasn't. He's
Kind of
been
seems
for
like a
this.
man lacking in conviction and
Yes.
is an opportunist, which makes him a loser. Who's your winner of the week, Kevin?
The 53 Democrats who voted for Washington, D.C. not to let illegals vote in city elections.
What?
Yeah. Weirdly, 146 Democrats believe that illegals should vote in city elections. And
In our capital city.
yeah. So, I mean, I'm just saying that there's 146 traitors to our country on the Democrat side. It's just ridiculous. And they should know this because your local government impacts your life more than your the federal government is impacting our life because they're getting more and more entrenched in our lives daily. But your local government should impact your life more
When
than
it
the
comes
federal
to your
government
day to
should.
day.
When it comes to your day to day.
Nobody
So
pays attention
if
to it.
illegals are dictating what your government policies are, who your city council members are, that's a huge swing. That could really, especially when they're coming in daily.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't think if you're not a U.S. citizen, you should be able to even serve on. And I think they can. I know they can in California. If you're not a legal citizen, you shouldn't be able to hold any type of office anywhere
You shouldn't be in the government, period.
because it shouldn't be in the country.
Yes, because the whole thing is you're an illegal alien. Illegal.
Yeah.
I just want to
Lawbreaker.
point that word out one more time. Illegal.
Every breath you take is a misdemeanor, mister.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just like when you have a drunk driving accident and you kill somebody drunk driving, you're going to get vehicular homicide because you should not have been on the road.
Yeah. Well, and the lucky thing is because it's the capital city, the Congress actually controls the city. So they can't make a lot of stupid ass rules like other cities do.
But good on the 53 Democrats who actually have common sense and, decide, I actually like America.
Yes.
And what kind of trashy people do that on the Thursday before Memorial Day would be like, oh, no, we'll just let illegals vote.
A bunch of garbage ass Democrats.
Yeah.
They've been taken over by the far left.
Yeah.
My winner of the week is the fat electrician from YouTube, Kevin.
Why is that?
Well, because he's there's a lot of stupid shit on YouTube and TikTok and you probably even Rumble, except for us. We're totally awesome and on every platform we're on. But along with he kind of falls in with the gun tuber crowd, but he doesn't do any other than he's done a couple of videos where these are my favorite guns. But his biggest claim to fame and what he's really good at is if you want to learn a bunch of weird shit that you're not going to learn anywhere else. His genre is more like military history, like World War II. Like if you want to hear the full story about the platoon or I forget regiment that was in Hacksaw Ridge. He's got a video on that. Or if you would like to see a video on why the government has 1.5 billion pounds of cheese stored in underground caverns.
Government cheese.
He's also the guy who taught me that prohibition is what ultimately led to government cheese. True story.
Really?
Yep, because when they made alcohol legal, people moved to ice cream for social, I guess, lube. And so because of that and the demand on dairy products, that's where the dairy industry came from. Like before then, people weren't just dairy farmers. They did a little bit of everything, but the demand was so high because people were buying so much ice cream because they couldn't buy booze that we had dairy farmers. Well, when they took away, got rid of prohibition, the demand on dairy went way down. So the government's like, oh shit, we can't have the dairy industry collapse. We'll buy all the extra milk. Well, all dairy farmers being true blooded Americans, like, government's going to buy my extra milk. I'm going to produce more milk. So the government had all this fucking milk. And like, what are we going to do with it? We'll turn it into cheese. So they just kept making cheese and storing cheese. And apparently it costs like $1 million a year to refrigerate it. And when Reagan got in, he found out there was like 400 or 500 million pounds of it. And his idea or his cabinet's idea to get rid of it, because he's like, I don't want to pay to store it. So we need to get rid of it. Let's dump it in the ocean. And apparently they're like, that might make people mad. We should have a census or, do a vote on whether or not we should dump 400 million pounds of cheese in the ocean. Turns out not a lot of people were happy about that. So they're like, all right.
Is it bad for the ocean?
I don't know. They're just
fish
probably
not
it's
like
just a
cheese?
huge waste. It's 400 million pounds of cheese. So that's where government cheese came from. Like, all right, if we can't dump it in the ocean, we'll give it away. And that's where government cheese came from. Now the 1.5 billion, because I think the government still does that. They buy extra dairy, extra milk. But the 1.5 billion pounds that are in underground caverns today, in federally owned underground caverns, I think that cheese is owned by like Kraft and other whatever. But there is, also got this from the Fat Electrician. This is probably the first and only time I'll ever source somebody. But I can't remember because I wasn't really going to get into it that much. But there's this, I don't know if it's a government agency, but I think it is. Or it's like something owned by the government, but it's a corporation. The top brass at this company make over $1 million a year. And their whole mission statement is to get people to like and buy cheese.
What?
Yeah.
Who the
one
fuck doesn't
thing
like
you
but
don't
cheese?
need to do because everybody loves cheese. These fuckers make like $1 million a year.
Like the only people who don't like cheese are vegans.
The I Got Milk, that was from them.
Was it really?
Yes.
Huh.
And there was nothing behind it other than they wanted people to buy more milk because, again, they have lots and lots of milk.
And lots of cheese, I guess.
Yes. And government cheese
awesome.
isn't bad. It's basically what Velveeta is.
Yeah, I like government cheese.
Yeah, if you got a chance, I would check out the Fat Electrician. Kevin, I'm going to give you 3 words. And based on those 3 words, I want you to tell me where you think this guy lives. All right? Shields, Busch Light, Gooch.
Iowa?
Yeah, that's right, buddy. I kept listening to his videos. I've come across 2 where he actually says he lives in Iowa. But I'm like, listening to him talk, I'm like, okay, this guy's definitely Midwestern. And then he said Gooch. And I'm like,
he's from Iowa. He's from Iowa. That's what got me Shields too, but
because one of his sponsors is Shields. I'm like, now granted, they're kind of all over the country, but I'm like, Shields, Busch Light.
Are they all over the country?
Oh. Yeah, there's like 35 stores, but they're spread out. But I was like, Shields, Busch Light, Gooch, Iowa.
Oh, he's a Busch Light drinker too?
Oh, yeah. He'll go down and do this unsubscribed podcast. It's literally called Unsubscribed Podcast with a bunch of gun tubers. And they're all drinking like White Claw and some bullshit or whiskey. And he's got a 12-pack of Busch Light sitting in front of him. He's a pretty cool dude. So he's entertaining. Check him out. Give him a like, subscribe after you like and subscribe our podcast. But if you want to learn a bunch of real interesting stuff that you've never heard about, especially military-wise, like the John Deere assault tractor that unfortunately never saw a battlefield but is a real thing, check out the Fat Electrician on YouTube.
Check him out, everybody.
Now we're going to get into the Trump, and he's Iowan, so he's probably very sarcastic, which he totally is. That's why he's entertaining and has way more subscribers than we do. But let's get into the Trump truth of the week, Kevin.
What I say is what I say.
Trump truth of the week. Wow, I just came out of the Biden witch hunt trial in Manhattan, the icebox, and was shown reports that crooked Joe Biden's DOJ and their illegal and unconstitutional raid on Mar-a-Lago authorized the FBI to use deadly lethal force. Now we know for sure that the Joe Biden is a serious threat to democracy. He is mentally unfit to hold office. 25th Amendment. Now, the reason why I picked that is not necessarily because it was funny, but I did not know that.
You
that's
said
super
wow
fucked
like
up.
Christopher Walken.
Wow!
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 I just came out of the Biden witch hunt trial. No, like the reason I picked that one is because it's so fun. So what, the DOJ authorized a firefight between the FBI and Secret Service? Because that's what it would have been.
Yes.
That's the only way that works.
Yes,
It's like,
that's exactly what they authorized.
so you're going to go into the ex-president under Secret Service protection's house, and you're authorized to use lethal force. And
It's
as soon as-
basically a government assassination of a former president.
yeah, that's really jacked up.
Yeah. I
Didn't
don't
you
think
say
anybody
something
understands how
else about
big
that?
this should be. It's fucked up.
Yeah, that's a big deal. That is super fucked up.
This
the
is
way-
how you know
Technically, I should have been yelling because the last half of that tweet
was
truth
all in
was
cap
all
locks.
capital. So
Yeah.
I didn't give it. I gave it the wow.
The wow. The gusto it needed.
But that was I just like, wow, that is really jacked up.
Yeah.
Well, let's roll right into the happenings of the week, Kevin.
What's happening?
What's happening? What's happening?
What's happened?
And some of these are from last week, so we're catching up. We'll burn through them pretty quick. Title IX for college.
This has actually been going on for a while. Basically, Biden signed in that boys can actually play on women's team, and it's totally fine. Even though Title IX was meant for every male athlete, there should be a female athlete in college. So the same number has to be in male sports, or there has to be the same number of females as there are in male sports. So it should be female sports.
How does that work, though? What if you have a sport that a lot of girls don't want to play? Or what if a lot of girls just don't want to play?
They do because they get scholarships.
I'm just saying.
That's what it's for. It's for scholarships.
Oh, so the opening. You have
Scholarship
to have
just-
as many openings for
Yes.
scholarships. Okay.
For male athletes as you do, or yeah, you have to have just as many scholarship openings for female athletes as you do for male athletes.
See, Kevin, this is why you're the researcher.
So basically, this is kind of tipping the scales because male athletes can now get scholarships in female sports.
That's fucking stupid.
So basically, you just destroy Title IX and saying it's a win for, I don't know, America or fucking the devil, one of the two. I can't remember. Probably the devil, though.
You know what, Kevin? Pre full-on lead poisoning, this would be considered fraud.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, for sure.
Stupid. Peru now classifies trans as a mental health illness.
And that's basically all I got for it. I mean, that's it. Good for Peru. It is a mental.
Way to state the obvious,
mental
Peru.
illness.
You're one step ahead of us.
Yeah, a lot of countries are. Yeah, that's it. I just liked it, so I wanted to put that in there so everybody knew that Peru, not quite the, I don't know. They're just, I don't know if they're not third world, but they're not like a rich.
That's where all the
nation.
aliens go, Kevin.
Yeah,
That's where all the
obviously,
mountaintops are cut
probably
off.
because there's more normal people there.
Yeah, they probably have a ton of gold if the aliens hadn't came.
I mean,
back
it's just
in the day
like
and stole it all.
Peru just showed they had more common sense than America does. So, way to go.
Yeah, it doesn't take much.
Wasn't there, hold
so-
on. Wasn't there a giant asteroid near Peru or something?
I'm
Or
telling you,
comet?
dude. No,
Was
the
that Peru?
the Peruvian lines and all that shit. That's where like all the mountains are like cut
Yeah,
off.
but wasn't there
flat and
just
stuff.
like I saw it on like reels where
No,
like,
that
there's
wasn't
this
an
giant
asteroid.
comet. There was a
Space
giant
shit.
comet or something, or
So dumb. Space.
it wasn't a spaceship.
How do you know? You weren't there.
I was there.
What?
'Cause I was flying it. Woo woo woo!
It was a UAP,
yeah.
PV, whatever they call them.
It was very-
identified.
It was
vernacular.
obviously a comet or whatever, asteroid or whatever they call it.
They do have a lot of weird shit that goes on there, but
Yeah, there is. But
Like
I mean,
some
it was
of
pretty
the-
cool. Like, did you see that one with that girl? Like, she had the camera up like towards the sky, and she, I don't know, she probably just doing some stupid ass video.
no.
But then
that's
it
why I was
flew
saying
over.
dumb alien stuff.
But then it flew over her. Like, I mean, it was bright. It was awesome looking.
Why didn't you send me that?
I don't know. Because it was like, I don't know. I think it's like one of those things where I woke up 2 o'clock in the morning, checked my phone for something. I was like, oh, I'll just get on Reels real quick.
You said a lot of words and you left out the three that mean something.
I
I'm
don't
a
care.
jerk.
Oh, I meant because I didn't care.
That's the same way of saying it. Well, you basically just said the same thing a different way. Because you're a jerk. Even though it's wrapping up next week, what did you think about the Cohen, I guess, witnessing is, what the hell do you call that?
He was
When you're on the stand and you give
testifying
your
against
the Cohen testimony.
testimony.
What do you think of that?
Didn't he pretty much admit that he stole $60,000 from Trump?
Yes. I don't think it was 60. It was, well, it might have been. It was a lot. He admitted to basically embezzling a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
Pretty sure he did perjury.
I'm pretty sure he also said that, no, Trump didn't know anything. I took care of it.
And literally said that he wants Trump to go to jail for financial gain, and he's going to use the name recognition from this trial to try to run for Congress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, and somehow I still give it a 50-50 shot he gets found guilty.
Nope.
Still a shitty place to have a fucking trial.
No,
to be Trump.
it'll either be not guilty or it'll be a mistrial. Is it a mistrial? If you're not convicted because you can't convince.
Yeah, if it's a hung jury, yeah.
So it'll either be a mistrial or not guilty.
It should have been thrown out. This fucking judge is ridiculous. The fact that he hasn't thrown this out is such biased bullshit.
Because he's obviously everything. He's literally proving everything that Trump comes out and says about him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, and then he got in this big shouting match. Hey, I got the big swinging dick here. When I say stuff, you stop talking, and you don't lift a brow to me, all right? I'm the judge. I got the gavel. I got the fancy robe. What do you got? Some like, oh, look at me. I got a shiny suit. Fuck you. I got the gavel. You'll respect me. Go fuck yourself. I'm pretty sure that was a verbatim transcript that went on.
Well, the fact that he tried doing that and Trump just talked shit immediately afterwards is awesome.
No, he was saying that obviously that wasn't a direct quote.
No.
Very close.
Very
but not
close.
a direct quote.
I know he was saying it at the trial.
No, he was saying it to a witness that was on the stand. Because he like rolled his eyes and stuff. Because he's like, see, that's why I don't think there's any way he's going to get convicted. Because there were times where apparently they saw the jurors rolling their eyes during Cohen's testimony. Oh,
there's going to be at least one.
Go, well, I don't know.
Yeah, it's going. I bet. If anything, I bet it's mistrial. I guarantee they won't go with not guilty. I guarantee there's one super. Some. I guarantee there's a anti-Trump, TDS person.
That'd be one of the jurors that got thrown out for them not saying not guilty in like 2 minutes. I'm like, all right, we're all not guilty. All right, let's get back. Like, it should be such a fast turnaround to slap all these. What's his name?
If I was on there, I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? Like, how could you? Jesus Christ.
I'll get in trouble. What's wrong
with your beer there?
Had a little head.
How? Would you shake it up?
I don't know what happened.
I really like to shake up my beer before I open it.
I guess I took it out of the cooler a little fast. But I think like they need to send a message. Like I would want to turn around fast as hell. Like, hey, Braggs, boom, not guilty.
Yeah,
and then I would be going to jail for
this whole thing is just
contempt of court.
It's been a shit show from the beginning.
Yeah, and I can't believe, and this rolls into the next topic of the happenings of the week, Kevin, is I can't believe Biden said, how about Wednesdays? I hear they're free. And that also rolls into Trump and Biden agree to debate.
Yeah.
Say something about it.
It's
the fuck.
Biden seems like... the way you said, I hear you have Wednesdays free, kind of seems like, I'm the one who did this to you. I mean, that's what it really sounds like. He is implying that he is the reason Trump is in court.
How stupid do you have to, this is the one thing. If I was a low down, worthless, ruining the country, psyoped, communist piece of shit guy trying to run for re-election, if I'm having my top opponent charged with a bunch of bullshit and trying to get him thrown in jail, I wouldn't mention anything about any of it. Any question about it. I have no comment. That stuff he's dealing with, I have nothing to do with it. I sure as hell wouldn't be like, hey, you get Wednesdays free. I like ice cream, and that's when the cream comes in.
It seems like something like Putin would say, because he's like, what are you going to do about it?
Yeah. What are you going to do about it? I threw him in jail. I gave him a bad cookie. He thought it was chocolate chip. It was oatmeal. He was allergic.
And I can't believe they're going to debate, but they're doing it all early. So I think they wanted to say they
Well,
called
they're
out the
doing it
debate.
early. They're doing it with no one in the room, and it's only on far left wing.
Yeah.
Like fake
There's
Tapper.
all kinds. Like he's like, anytime, anywhere. I heard, Wednesday's free, all that shit. Then all of a sudden they're like, but we can't have an audience. Has to be on like CNN or MSNBC or NBC, CBS, ABC, one of these fucking left-leaning areas. And
we're going to use far left pundits to ask the questions.
Trump's like, you know what? I'm going to require a drug test beforehand.
I would. See how much Adderall and cocaine he's got him jacked up with.
Yep.
We all know it wasn't Hunter's.
So they agreed to two. Biden didn't want RFK there either.
I mean, I don't know.
He's got enough votes. He should be there. He's got like 14%.
How many?
He's running at 14% right now in the polls. But that's all you have to do is. But
he doesn't have a.
There's a qualification you have to have.
That's fine.
Yeah, I know, but the qualification to get into a debate is you have to have 10% of the vote.
Well, then he should be in it.
Yeah, but he won't let him because that's one of Biden's fucking things.
I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna sound horrible. I can't stand hearing his voice. I know it's not his fault. I just can't stand hearing him talk. That's why I'm kind of glad they're not letting him in, Kevin. Okay? It has nothing to do with trying to hold him back or so he doesn't get any votes. It's because I literally, honestly, cannot stand the way he talks.
No, me neither.
I feel horrible about it because it's not his fault.
I know, and I do too, and I don't want to listen to him either. But I feel like people are going to be like, oh, that guy's definitely a better option than Biden, and just steal votes from him because, he's pretty much a leftist. He's just got some, I guess, what you would say, right? I would say it's middle. I wouldn't even say
he's kind of there on the border, vaccines, and not getting into new wars, and that's about it. Everything else is Green New Deal. I don't think
hippie bullshit.
And he flip-flops on a lot of shit. Like, he's changed his position because it doesn't pull well. So he's a typical politician.
Yeah, he's changed his position on abortion like 8 times.
Yeah, he's a politician. He's a typical politician. He's a fucking Kennedy. There is no reason. The last good Kennedy was JFK. Yeah. And they killed him because he was going to tell everyone about aliens. So, let's move on to the...
Wasn't Robert Kennedy also a good one?
He was a... Yeah, he was a...
I mean, that's
wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was
a senator.
Yeah.
He was
not
running
the last Kennedy as a senator. He was horrible. He murdered people.
Oh, yeah. No, he was horrible.
Yeah. John Edwards. No. Right? No. John Edwards was the VP guy who got somebody pregnant he shouldn't have.
Yeah, he was a naughty boy.
Now
it's all fine. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's just fine. It's like you're not cool if you don't have some like waitress at a Waffle House pregnant and you're a politician.
I mean, hell,
you ain't tried enough.
Biden's making millions off of China and no one cares.
Yeah. Last one, Biden to release 1 million barrels of gas. I'm assuming they meant oil out of the strategic oil reserve. Kevin, what do you think of that?
Well, I mean, obviously it's
the one that's already low, historically low, and they haven't added anything to.
Well, I don't know because I thought this one, I think they're taking it out of the Northeast reserve, which was scheduled to be shut down anyway. So, but this gas has been sitting there for
over.
But this gas I think it's actually gas.
It has to be oil. If it's gas and it's been sitting for over a year, it's not worth shit.
And I think it's gas. I swear to you, I think it's
they
gas
keep
reserve.
It on the East Coast,
and it's been on for 5 years, I think. So it is garbage gas.
I mean, maybe they put stabilizer in it. I would not want to put that shit in my tank.
Fuck no.
I'm glad I drive God's fuel vehicle.
But let's call it what it is. It's another way to buy votes.
Buying votes.
So yeah.
So that's horseshit. Let's go. We're running a little long in the tooth, Kevin. Let's go ahead and run into your favorite section of the show, which is
Woo! White Slur of the Week.
What's a honky?
That's right. The white slur of the week, and this week is trog, used by police in relation to unemployed whites, short for troglodyte or cave dweller. And that was the white slur of the week.
What's a honky?
This is one of my favorites. I did not know trog was a slur. But I am
That's
gonna
why
use
I
that one
like.
now.
That's what I like about the same. We learn something new every.
We do learn something
every
new.
episode.
Other than the one where you did honky, but we had to do that eventually.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's the rolling.
It's the rolling.
But yeah, that was the white slur of the week. I think that kind of wraps it up. Kevin, you got anything else?
Just everybody, when you're celebrating this Memorial Day, make sure you remember all the men, women who have lost their lives defending this great country so that we have the opportunity to barbecue and drink and enjoy our families and friends. So, just make sure you remember them this Monday when Memorial Day happens.
Those are good words of wisdom, and I agree totally with that. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, share, comment,
share, everybody.
Talk shit in the comments. Do whatever you want. Just do something and visit the merch shop. Link in the description below. And until next time, I'm Josh.
And I'm Kevin.
And this has been an electrifyingly awesome, just mind-blowing, tubular, bodacious, awesome episode of the Lost Art of Common Sense.
Common sense.
Common sense, baby.
Common sense. Buy our shit.
That's right. Don't forget, don't be boring. Be a pirate. We'll see you next week, everybody.